Ready? Right, one stroke, freestyle, whatever you want to call it. It's your own personal style. Obviously it has certain rules, but it's your own style. Now one stroke or poster lettering was basically designed, if you're doing posters, you tend to lay flat because it's paper. So the idea was, it's just, your hand is just a natural arc. Everything is just that sort of radius, whatever you do. And that's what poster writing freestyle was really designed for. As I say, posters you do laying down because it's paper. And it's quite quick. And with posters you tend to use flat colours, so they'd be not shiny. So you'd have, we do have oil-based poster colours, but you can use a bit of matte black or oil-based white undercoat, things like that. And we used to thin them down with petrol rather than white spirit, because the petrol would dry a bit quicker if you was in a rush. But don't do it in a small area without ventilation, and don't smoke at the same time as your sign writing, as you might end up with a little bit of a problem. So anyway, going back, freestyle. This is something we always wanted the customers, or talk the customers into, if they had all the yada 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 all the way around the vehicle. It made it so quick and simple. Now, normally with one stroke you tend to want a shorter, bushier brush, because it is like a one stroke. This brush I'm using now is probably a bit long, the hair's a bit long, and I think it's probably got a few short stragglers where it's wearing out, but we'll have a go and give you the idea. But you do want to chisel, so I've just marked out A, B, C, D. So the idea is, you need plenty of paint on the brush, and the idea is you want to go, there's your A, and then we tend to normally just, with a good brush, you can just flick it off like that. So that would be your A, but you try and get it done in a one stroke. So that would be that. And then we would come around like this, and we tend to sort of have a little bit of a, just a little flick. As I say, it's not a bit of an old brush, but that would be, and then we'd have our A. That would be your A. Sorted. Or capital A. Obviously, left-handed people, if you ever think about people, one of the guys I sort of learnt from was left-handed. Now bear in mind his maul stick's facing that way, so you have to be very careful because his maul stick's going over his wet paint. And so that was one thing, obviously it was a little bit different for lefties. And the other thing was his freehand style was a little bit different, because he's being left-handed, his flicks of his brush used to sort of tend to go slightly different in the opposite direction, so you could always tell whether Vic had done something or someone else had written something from the way their brushwork was. And now we have the letter B. Same thing, it's just this radius, it's the same, it's just here and it's just down. So it's a stroke, one stroke, and then we come across and we go that way. There. Now that technically would be a P, and then all we do is we add another little stroke, and that would be your B. The C's were quite nice to do, because obviously we'd have a C, be round. Now, I always used to bring mine down and flick it out slightly. I think left-handed used to flick it inwards, which was obviously easier for him. And then we have a thinner stroke, which was just down like that. So that is it. It's a really easy style. Now, it's a good style to, or it's a good thing to practice with, because it loosens you up. Maybe I should have done this first before I started doing my square stuff. But obviously I have lost, because my hand doesn't flex anymore. The thing is with freehand is really, it's all about, it's pushing, it's pressure of the brushwork on and off to get your thick and thins. And obviously I don't tend to have that so much in my hand now. So that is basically your one stroke, which a lot of people have asked, but it's just such a simple thing to do. Let's do one more, not even marked it out, we do the letter E. It's the same thing, it's that same sort of stroke. What you have to do is, when you get comfortable, everything leans at that same angle. That is where your continuity and everything looks right. And an E is just basically one, we have the bottom one, get a good brush. You shouldn't have any little things on the end, and then we come across, that would be your E. Very simple, very quick, very easy, has a bit of character to it, and that's quite a nice one to do, and it just breaks things up from your normal block. So normally mix a bit of block and a bit of FREESTYLE, or one stroke, whatever you want to call it, and that just makes things look a little bit more different or lively, or whatever you want to call it, and then different colours. So that is basically how we form our letters. It's just being repetitive. It all starts pretty much in the same way. Every letter is pretty much the same, but you need to study the letters, and that's the hardest bit to get across. And say I took 3 years just doing phone numbers in between making builders boards and spraying builders vans so Chris could sign write them. So it's practice, it's learning. So really for me, looking back now, if I was practicing, I would have a piece of glass, I'd have some bits of A4 paper with some letters on behind, and I would just copy through. Then you can wipe it off, start again, wipe it off, start again. Because at the end of the day, forget having to just rough it out and do the letter. You need to know what it looks like up here, because that way you get your spacings and everything else. You cannot keep referring to a book to see what the letter looks like. It needs to be imprinted into your mind, and that is the difficult bit, and that's where it comes in. But once you've got it up here, and as you're writing it, you can see it, it becomes so much easier. So I hope this helps. I'm sorry it's been such a long time, but it does give me an opportunity for me to actually get my brushes out and sort of work. But we will see you again, hopefully not too far away. If you have any things you want to know, please drop us a line and I'll be happy to explain them for you. Okay? See you then. Take care and be safe. Bye.